morning and welcome to UnCommon Chapel at Noon, hosted by Spiritual Life with Shenandoah University. My name is Brianna Yeager, and I am a graduate student studying collaborative piano at Shenandoah Conservatory, where I am in my final year and am so excited. I'm delighted to be here with you all, and I love being part of Spiritual Life in UnCommon Chapel because I get to meet so many people I wouldn't be able to meet being a graduate student here. I hope you have a delightful day and look forward to worshiping with you.
Against an oak, first it bent, and then it broke. Thus did my love prove false to me. The water is wide, I cannot cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row, my love and I. The water is wide for my love and I.
I think the world needs to hear from God that God sees us and that God is with us, and that there is a way to peace. There is. It's the path of vulnerability. It's the path of love.
Hippie. Not sustainable. Can't govern that way.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And in fact, God did govern this way. In Exodus, when God actually established the people of Israel, God established the Sabbath, the sabbatical year, and the year of Jubilee. And in those times, and through those three pillars of God's governance, that's God's governance in action, what you see that God actually made a way systemically through the structure that there would never be poverty in perpetuity for any family in Israel, ever. Because through the Sabbath, you actually get the establishment of at least one day a week. Again, limiting, right? Like creating limitations on the darkness. At least one day a week. Even if you're a slave, one day a week, you are equal before God. You are coming into the throne room of God, and you are able to worship, and God wants you as much as God wants anybody else. And then in the sabbatical year, everybody gets the year off, the whole year off, and they get their debts forgiven. That's huge. And slaves are set free. This is every 7 years. And then Jubilee every 7 times 7 years. Not only do people get the whole year off, not only do they get their debts forgiven, hello, school loans, hello, mortgages, hello, housing crisis, right? Like, not only do they get their debts forgiven, but they also get their land restored to them. So if your house has gone into foreclosure in the last 49 years, and that reset button year, after the 50th year or 49th year, depending on how you count, God hits the reset button in God's governance, and all the land shifts back to the original deed holders, because there's grace in God's governance. There's the understanding that we don't need to be perfect. We are not perfect. We will never be perfect. And in God's governance, there will never be a human being who lives under the reign of God, within whom the image of God is not cultivated, respected, and protected. And that's why in God's governance, there's a governance in a way that declares there will be no poverty in perpetuity here ever.
One of the reasons that I love the Sabbath is because it's a day free from work. So one of the connections between the Sabbath and the poor is that on a Sabbath day, you're not supposed to make anyone else work. So I wouldn't want to hire a Jew, for example, to clean my house on Sunday, which is my Sabbath, and make them work on my Sabbath day just so that I don't have to work. It would be important to honor them in their Sabbath, and by giving the poor a day free from all work, they are delivered from their oppression. So the connection between the one day of Sabbath and the Jubilee, which is 7 times 7 Sabbaths, is that the Jubilee year is to release people from their debts. When that was done with Jewish people in the Holy Land, some scholars question whether it ever really was done. And I think that's an interesting question that we'd have to look back in Judaica to understand. But we've been trying it now in the 20th century. When the year 2000, a lot of people signed on to the plan to have a Jubilee when 2/3 world nations would be freed from their debts. Now, I don't know how extensively that went, but I joined the campaign, and I'm sure lots of you did too, because it was very important. It's very important to me to free people from debts. So a lot of times on Sabbath day is the day that I love to give away the monthly income from my household. And it's fun on a Sabbath day to give lots of money to dig wells, or lots of money to feed the hungry, and various agencies around the world that I've found have a good track record. And I try to do a lot of research on the various agencies, so I find one that uses the least money for advertising and the most money actually goes to the people themselves. So I like to talk in my congregation back home. I'm the corresponding secretary for Northwest Harvest South, where we try to have food banks for the poor people. And on Sunday morning, I like to challenge the people in our congregation. And last year, they went from $20,000 a year to $30,000 a year, which was pretty good. We'll see what they do next year, as I try to goad them on Sundays, because we gather up offerings for that in our congregation. So it's a very important connection between the Sabbath, God's desire to deliver the people, and God's desire to deliver all people from debt and oppression.
And I work for Spiritual Life. And I am excited to announce a new opportunity for anyone who loves to write and share stories. As it has been proven time and time again, people love to read stories that reflect them. Unfortunately, diversity in children's books is still lacking, and many teachers are not able to buy books for their classes. This is where we can make a difference. We are making a writing group that will use online resources to write the first books and help distribute them to teachers. More information is becoming available. This is a great way to use your writing ability to serve the community. If you are interested in this, you can email me at mjohnpaul19@su.edu.